When your exam is near and suddenly everything you thought you knew just disappears. You sit down to study, but your brain feels empty. You read and nothing sticks. You keep thinking, how did I forget all of this? You start panicking because no matter how much you cover, it feels like it's never enough. You start doubting yourself. You think maybe I've just been lucky in the past. Maybe I only passed because of my friends or because someone else kept me on track. And now, when it's just you and your books, you feel lost. You look at your notes from med school and it all feels like another lifetime. You used to understand these topics so well, and now it's like reading a foreign language. And that thought hits you. My exam is in 1 month. I'll never make it. But listen, this feeling doesn't mean you're failing. It means you care. It means you're in the hardest part of the process, the part where fear gets louder than focus. And that's the exact moment where you need to shift your approach. Act 1. Shifting your mindset. When the exam is close, your strategy has to change. You can't study the same way you did when you had months left. This is not the time for perfection, this is the time for precision. You have to stop chasing the idea of covering everything, because you never will. Even the best students don't know everything. What matters now is learning the right thing, deeply enough to use them under pressure. Step 1. See the forest before the trees. Before you dive into the details, zoom out. Most people start studying by opening their notes, highlighting everything, and hoping it sticks. But that's like walking into a forest blindfolded. You'll just keep bumping into trees. You need to know what's actually important for this specific exam. Look at past papers, notice the question trends, find out which topics or systems come up again and again. That's your map. Once you see the big picture, you'll know where to spend your time and what's just noise. Because if you can see the forest clearly, then you'll know exactly which trees are worth climbing. Act 2. The strategy. Step 1. Make a schedule. Write down what you'll do each day, but keep it flexible. Don't build a schedule that punishes you for being human. Because here's the truth. Some days you will be on fire, focused, flowing, ticking off every box. And other days you'll get tired, distracted, or stuck on one topic for way too long. That's okay. That's a failure. That's real life. When that happens, don't scrap the plan. Adjust it. Move things to tomorrow. Shuffle topics around. You're still moving. It's just not in a straight line. Progress doesn't have to look perfect at the end of the day. It just has to keep going. Even slow progress counts because it means you showed up. And that's what builds momentum, not perfection. Step 2. Do questions first. When the exam is getting close, questions become your best teacher. Because here's the thing, reading notes feels productive, but it's passive. You're just absorbing information without really testing it. Questions, on the other hand, are active. They force your brain to think, to recall, to apply knowledge, and the same way the exam does. Every question you attempt is a mini simulation of the real thing. And every time you get one wrong, it's not failure, it's feedback. It's your brain showing you exactly where the gaps are. That's how you study smarter. You're not just collecting information, you're training your mind to think like the examiner. So when you miss a question, don't just move on, pause, look at why you got it wrong. Was it a concept you misunderstood, a detail you forgot, or did you misread the question itself? Make a quick note of it. Write down the mistake, the topic, and the correct reasoning, because those notes are gold. They're not just reminders, they're your personal weak spot map. And when you go back to revise, start there. Focus on what you didn't understand before, because that's where real progress happens. The goal isn't to get every question right. The goal is to learn from every question you get wrong. That's how you turn mistakes into mastery. Step 3. Stop counting what's left. That list of topics you still haven't covered, yeah, it never really ends, does it? And the more you stare at it, the heavier it feels. You open your notes and think, oh my god, I still have 100 pages left. That voice gets louder every time you check how much is left to do. Every time you flip back to see how much is left, you're stealing focus from what's right in front of you. That's wasted time and even more wasted energy. So instead, stay present. One topic, one question, one page. Climb one step at a time. Because when you keep checking the mountain, you forget to climb it. It's okay, you need more time. I'd rather see you deeply understand 70% of your material than rush through 100% and remember none of it. This is the mindset that separates panic from progress. Because mastery doesn't come from speed, it comes from stillness, focus, and understanding what truly matters. When you study that way, you move forward quietly, effectively, and without chaos. Step 4. Focus on understanding, not memorizing. When time is short, pure memorization collapses. You can cram all night, but by morning, half of it's gone. That's not your fault, it's just how the brain works. When you try to memorize information without meaning, your brain stores it in short-term memory. It fades within hours or days. But when you actually understand something, when you connect it to what you already know, explain it in your own words, or apply it to a real example, your brain moves it into long-term memory. That's where true retention lives. So instead of repeating a sentence 20 times, ask yourself, do I actually get what this means? Could I explain this to a friend who's never heard it before? If you can teach it, you've learned it. Because understanding builds a network and a memorization builds a wall. One traps you, the other carries you forward. That's the kind of knowledge that survives exam day and honestly long after the exam is over. Step 5. Then go back and do the questions again. Repeat the same ones. Yes, the exact same questions you got wrong before. You'll notice something amazing. This time you'll get more right. Not because you memorized the answers, but because your brain has started to build a structure around them. When you understand something deeply, your mind starts connecting dots automatically. You recognize patterns, you predict answers, you see logic where before there was confusion. That's not luck, that's learning in action. Cognitive science calls this retrieval of practice. Every time you pull information out of your memory, you strengthen it. It's like working out a muscle. The more you recall it, the stronger it gets. And when you redo all questions, you're not just checking your score, you're watching your progress in real time. You're seeing how far you've come from that first attempt. That's one of the most powerful forms of motivation because understanding creates confidence, and confidence makes your brain calm, focused, and ready. When you reach that point, studying doesn't feel like guessing anymore. It feels like connecting the dots. That's when you know you're ready. Not because you finished everything, but because now everything makes sense. Act 3. The truth. Here's the truth. You can't memorize everything. Nobody can. And that's not the goal. The goal is to think like the exam, to recognize patterns, to connect dots, to stay calm enough to reason. Exams don't reward perfection, they reward strategy. So stop trying to do it all and start mastering what matters most. Remember, you didn't come this far by luck. You've already passed so many tests, so many challenges, so many impossible days. You've built this knowledge before, and it's still there, even if it feels buried under panic. You just need to uncover it. Don't let fear convince you that you're not enough. You are enough, you always have been. Every small step you've taken counts more than you think. So when you sit down to study tonight, breathe. You don't need to conquer the whole subject. Just one chapter, one concept, one question. That's all it takes to move forward. The final stretch isn't about doing more, it's about doing what matters most. And you already know how to do that. I hope this video gave you something to hold on to or just made you breathe a little easier. And if it did, let me know in the comments. And remember, you're not alone. We are all climbing the same mountain. Keep going and I'll see you at the top.
Staring at the tapestry above the bed you gave me. I still haven't washed my sheets, 'cause I still smell you in the bed you used to rest your head on. How the hell am I supposed to sleep? Can we both face our demons? Can change like the seasons.